Hi there, I'm Sam from Simplilearn and I work as a multi-platform cloud architect and trainer. And let me welcome you to this learning video called What is Cloud Computing? As we learn what is cloud computing, we will also be learning about how things were before cloud computing and benefits of cloud computing, different types of cloud computing available, and some of the famous companies that are using cloud computing and they're getting benefited out of it. We're going to learn all that. Before cloud computing existed, if we need any IT servers or application, let's say a basic web server, it does not come easy. Now here is an owner of a business, and I know you would have guessed it already that he's running a successful business by looking at the hot and fresh brewed coffee in his desk and lots of paperwork to review and approve. Now he had a smart, not only smart looking, but a really smart worker in his office called Mark. And on one fine day, he called Mark and said that he would like to do business online. In other words, he would like to take his business online, and for that, he needed his own website as the first thing. And Mark puts all his knowledge together and comes up with this requirement that his boss would need lots of servers, database, and softwares to get his business online, which means a lot of investment. And Mark also adds that his boss will need to invest on acquiring technical expertise to manage the hardware and software that they will be purchasing and also to monitor the infrastructure. And after hearing all this, his boss was close to dropping his plan to go online. But before he made a decision, he chose to check if there are any alternatives where he don't have to spend a lot of money and don't have to spend acquiring technical expertise. Now that's when Mark opened this discussion with his boss, and he explained his boss about cloud computing, and he explained his boss the same thing that I'm going to explain to you in some time now about what is cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is the use of a network of remote servers hosted on the internet to store, manage, and process data rather than having all that locally and using local server for that. Cloud computing is also storing our data in the internet from anywhere and accessing our data from anywhere throughout the internet. And the companies that offer those services are called cloud providers. Cloud computing is also being able to deploy and manage our applications, services, and network throughout the globe and manage them through the web management or configuration portal. In other words, cloud computing service providers give us the ability to manage our applications and services through a global network or internet. Example of such providers are Amazon Web Service and Microsoft Azure. Now that we have known what cloud computing is, let's talk about the benefits of cloud computing. Now I need to tell you, the cloud benefits is what is driving cloud adoption like anything in the recent days. If you want an IT resource or a service now with cloud, it's available for me almost instantaneously and it's ready for production almost the same time. Now this reduces the go live date, and the product and the service hit the market almost instantaneously compared to the legacy environment, and because of this the companies have started to generate revenue almost the next day, if not the same day. Planning and buying the right size hardware has always been a challenge in legacy environment, and if you're not careful when doing this, we might need to live with a hardware that's undersized for the rest of our lives. With cloud, we do not buy any hardware, but we use the hardware and pay for the time we use it. If that hardware does not fit our requirement, release it and start using a better configuration and pay only for the time you use that new and better configuration. In legacy environments, forecasting demand is an full-time job, but with cloud, you can let the monitoring and automation tool to work for you and to rapidly scale up and down the resources based on the need of that hour. Not only that, the resources, services, data can be accessed from anywhere as long as we are connected to the internet. And even there are tools and techniques now available which will let you to work offline and will sync whenever the internet is available. Making sure the data is stored in durable storage and in a secure fashion is the talk of the business, and cloud answers that million-dollar question. With cloud, the data can be stored in a highly durable storage and replicated to multiple regions if you want, and the data that we store is encrypted and secured in a fashion that's beyond what we can imagine in local data centers. Now let's bleed into the discussion about the types of cloud computing. Very lately, there are multiple ways to categorize cloud computing because it's ever growing. Now we have more categories. Out of all, these 6 sort of stand out. Categorizing cloud based on deployments and categorizing cloud based on services. And again, under deployments, categorizing them based on how they have been implemented. Is it private? Is it public? Or is it hybrid? And again, categorizing them based on the service it provides. Is it infrastructure as a service, or is it platform as a service, or is it software as a service? Let's look at them one by one. Let's talk about the different types of cloud based on the deployment models first. In public cloud, everything is stored and accessed in and through the internet, and any internet users with proper permissions can be given access to some of the applications and resources. And in public cloud, we literally own nothing, be it the hardware or software. Everything is managed by the provider. AWS, Azure, and Google are some examples of public cloud. Private cloud, on the other hand, with private cloud, the infrastructure is exclusively for a single organization. The organizations can choose to run their own cloud locally or choose to outsource it to a public cloud provider as managed services. And when this is done, the infrastructure will be maintained on a private network. Some examples are VMware Cloud, and some of the AWS products are very good example for private cloud. Hybrid cloud has taken things to the whole new level. With hybrid cloud, we get the benefit of both public and private cloud. Organizations will choose to keep some of their applications locally, and some of the application will be present in the cloud. One good example is NASA. It uses hybrid cloud. It uses private cloud to store sensitive data and uses public cloud to store and share data which are not sensitive or confidential. Let's now discuss about cloud based on service model. The first and the broader category is infrastructure as a service. Here we would rent the service, network storage, and we'll pay for them in an hourly basis. But we will have access to the resources we provision, and for some we will have root level access as well. EC2 in AWS is a very good example. It's a VM for which we have root level access to the OS and admin access to the hardware. The next type of service model would be platform as a service. Now, in this model, the providers will give me a pre-built platform where we can deploy our codes and our applications, and they will be up and running. We only need to manage the codes and not the infrastructure. Here in software as a service, the cloud providers sell the end product, which is a software or an application, and we directly buy the software on a subscription basis. It's not the infra or the platform, but the end product or the software or a functioning application, and we pay for the hours we use the software. And in here, the client maintains full control of the software and does not maintain any equipment. Amazon and Azure also sell products that are software as service. This chart sort of explains the difference between the 4 models, starting from on-premises to infrastructure as a service to platform as a service to software as a service. This is self-explanatory that the resource managed by us are huge in on-premises, that towards your left as you watch, and it's little less in infrastructure as a service as we move further towards the right, and further reduced in platform as a service, and there's really nothing to manage when it comes to software as a service because we buy the software, not any infrastructure component attached to it. There are lots of famous well-known organizations around the world. They have moved or have migrated to the cloud environment. Pinterest is one company which is one of the world's largest visual bookmarking tool with more than 70 million monthly active users. Now, Pinterest was able to scale its business because it was all built on Amazon Web Services. With a company with less number of employees, Pinterest decided that they do not want to dedicate its staff time to manage a data center. Instead, Pinterest uses AWS, or they used AWS to manage their high performance social application and store more than 8 billion objects and 400 terabytes of data in AWS cloud using a service called Amazon Simple Storage Service, or in short Amazon S3. And not only that, they are running 2,20,000 25,000 instance hours a month, and they run that on Amazon compute service called Amazon EC2 or Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. Spotify is another company that got benefited using AWS. It's an online music service offering, and it offers instant access to over 16 million licensed songs. Spotify needed a peculiar requirement. It needed a storage solution that could scale very quickly without incurring long lead times for upgrades. Long story short, Spotify used Amazon S3, which is Amazon Simple Storage Service, and Amazon S3 gave them the confidence in their ability and to expand their storage quickly while also providing high data durability. The third biggest company I want to mention is Netflix. It's the world's largest internet television network with more than 100 million members in more than 190 countries. Netflix uses Amazon Web Services for nearly all its computing and storage needs. Now that includes database, analytic, recommendation engines, video transcoding, and a lot more. Not only that, this company is planning to use AWS Lambda to build an automated or an rule-based self-managing infrastructure and replace some of their inefficient process to reduce the rate of errors and replace inefficient processes to reduce the rate of errors and save their valuable time. Expedia is another famous company that got benefited by using cloud. Expedia provides travel booking service through its flagship site called Expedia.com, and not only that, they also run 200 plus travel booking sites around the world. Expedia is all on AWS, and by using AWS, Expedia has become more resilient with an high scalable infrastructure and better cloud services because it had offloaded the IT management to the cloud provider itself, in this case AWS. And because of this, Expedia's developers have been able to innovate faster while saving the company millions and millions of dollars. Alright, so it was really an exciting journey beginning our discussion with what is cloud computing, and then started to branch out into the benefits of cloud computing, and then we understood about the types of cloud computing that are available and the difference between them and how companies get benefited by using cloud service providers like AWS and Azure. I really hope that you have enjoyed the video. Please stay tuned for more videos like this. Thank you.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.